A statistics terminology. A sample statistic, or just statistic, is a summary number such as sample mean, sample proportion, used to estimate the corresponding population parameters such as a population mean or a population proportion. So typically a sample would be a few hundred or a few thousand people, and the population would be millions of people. For example, in a sample of several thousand voters in the year 2020, the proportion favoring Biden was 52% compared to Trump's 44%. And then we can use these sample proportions as estimates of the proportions favoring Biden compared to Trump in the entire population of millions of voters. Each voter polled would be an observational unit or observation or case. For the above example, the voter's preference would be a categorical or qualitative variable. The pollster also asked for the ages of each voter polled. Age would be considered but a numerical or quantitative or measurement variable. The above poll found that Biden had an even wider lead over Trump among younger voters. Thus, in this context, the age of the voter could be considered an explanatory variable or independent variable, and the voter's political preference would be considered a response or dependent variable. In some cases, the dependent variable may cause or affect the independent variable may cause or affect the dependent variable, but cause is often hard to prove. Income could be considered a third or lurking or confounding variable because income was not reported and may affect the voter preferences. One of the biggest challenges in polling is choosing a sample that is representative of the population. The way the sample is chosen can make a big difference in the accuracy of the results. For example, in 1948, a poll of voters selected from telephone books predicted that Dewey, a Republican, would beat Truman, a Democrat, in the presidential election, but in fact Truman beat Dewey. The problem was that in 1948, the people who had telephones tended to have more money, and those people tended to vote Republican. Another example of poor polling practices would be to solicit feedback on customer satisfaction by leaving a stack of questionnaires at the exit. This type of sample is called a volunteer or self-selected or convenience sample. The disadvantage of this polling method is that people who would be most likely to respond to the questionnaires would be those who had a complaint. Thus, the results would most likely show a higher level of customer dissatisfaction than was actually the case. Even if you chose a sample so that each person from the population has an equal chance of being chosen, you might not end up with a truly representative sample if large numbers of people choose not to respond. Some ways of reducing the rate of non-response are by making the questionnaire short and quick, and also making repeated attempts to get non-respondents to respond. And that concludes this presentation.